Tabletop Spotlight, brought to you by Dragon's Lair, Comics and Fantasy. Hey everyone, I'm AdamHarry from Bell Boss Souls Tabletop News with
Evan from Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy.
And we're back with another Tabletop Spotlight. Evan, it's time!
It's time for Twilight Imperium 4th Edition.
Yes!
We have it here, along with the deluxe rulebook,
Yeah,
which is what you get.
seen.
Yeah, you get it when you pre-order the game.
Nice.
Some game stores are selling it separately for people who didn't necessarily pre-order,
yeah.
but they still got the game early.
Yeah.
But yeah, here it is in all of its glory.
Oh, it's heavy. I'm so glad it's finally out.
It's... Oh, we're so
Have
excited.
you got to poke around? I know we have it.
I've gotten to open it, to poke around.
Yeah.
I've read the rulebook, everything like that. We're already planning a few days in the December area to play it. So,
yes.
I'm really excited.
I'm getting in on that, man.
Oh, you're welcome too.
Yeah, it's such a good, such a good version. Twilight Imperium.
Yeah, and they really
edition.
improved on third edition. Third edition. Not that third edition was bad, but they were able to improve on it. So we'll really talk about just the differences, really.
We'll go through everything in the box for sure, but I really want to spend some time flipping through the
because it's brand new.
Because it's brand new. So it's going to take a while. So let's jump into Twilight Imperium 4th edition. Twilight Imperium 4th edition.
4th edition.
Super pumped about this one. Real quick too, we will go through the book. Do you want to do the book now or the box?
Let's do the box.
Okay.
And then the book.
We'll dive right in.
So biggest difference, one of the biggest differences is the size. So the third edition was longer, but
this one's
shorter.
Deeper.
Yeah, this one's deeper. And I think that fits for more people's shelves.
Yeah,
so that makes sense.
Deeper box for sure.
So let's team up for it. I'm going to flip over.
Oh, we got to show the back.
Yeah, show the back off.
Yep.
Now, it's otherwise very similar to people who've played before. There's this giant procedurally generated map. It doesn't have to be procedurally generated, but
it is done with a hex placement system.
This is the galaxy.
Hasn't changed. That hasn't changed too much.
There's going to be player boards. We're going to go over those in a second. There's
the biggest differences I think from third and fourth. Number one, the miniatures are different. There's a hard plastic. It's a different style plastic. The tech tree has changed. The way resources and stuff it changed very slightly. Trading has changed as well. So,
and another thing to point out is it's kind of a combination of the third edition base game and the expansion that came out after.
Yes.
This base game comes with
17 factions.
It's even more than I thought. I thought it was 15. So 17 factions right in the base game, which is great for a game that's 6 players maximum. There's a lot of choices. So we're gonna flip this over and we're gonna just dive in. Let's go.
All right. Yep. There we go.
The art style is very similar. How it's more like crisp, I guess you could say.
Yep.
Because the third edition came out 12 years ago, so there's some improvement since then.
Yeah. Now some of these styles have punched out just because we've been shaking the box. Yeah. But it's an FFG game, so you're gonna have a ton of tokens.
It's not only a FFG; it's a Twilight Imperium FFG game.
So again, let me just. You know what?
This is your copy, so
I'm gonna do this. I'm keeping. This is my copy now. So this is, I believe, this is an example of a starting system.
No, it's not. I'll go over what those look like, but this
back is what I want to show. You're gonna deal these all out upside down, and then you're gonna deal these out to each player. And then when you're building your systems, you're gonna lay these out and then flip them over.
Yeah. Now there are different backs. So 3 different kinds of backs. So there's that blue one. We'll bring that over real quick too. This one happens to have 2 planets in the system. This one is a manufacturing planet, and it has different resources you can gather from it. And this one, I think, is a hostile. No, I think it's a hostile planet. I think that's what it means. And then keep going.
That's the different types of resources it generates too.
Oh, okay.
So like this one's green,
you're right.
This one's red.
Yeah, and then it's blue for
there's blue for science. Different types of science.
Yeah, more just systems. These are more blue backs as we saw, and then we have these green backs right here.
Those are the starting systems.
These are the starting systems. Now I'm gonna flip this over. So
depending on which race you pick, you have a different starting point.
Yeah. So each race has their own symbol, so it's very easy to tell which one is for. And some races will start with 2 planets, some with 1 planet. For instance, this is the virus guys. Keep going. There's also a main planet.
Mechatol Rex.
Mechatol Rex, which can be in the center of the board all the time.
There are
hostile area. Yeah, but they can also be regular, just blank space with no planets on them.
Yeah.
This one is special for one of the races. They can travel through this warp hole, but we have a couple more systems.
These are just wormholes. That's all that one is.
Yeah, that's just a wormhole.
Yep.
Well, it's for that race. That's kind of their planet, their home planet.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, got some.
Yeah, we had a lot of stuff punched out.
Here. Okay. Take these. We have these. Now these. Oh, what happened to this guy?
must have slid out.
Okay, we'll find it inside later.
Oh, see, everything's... This is the tracker for VPs, I believe.
Or turn.
No, it's not turn, it's VP.
Okay, VP.
Because, like, depending on the game...
That's right, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, one difference in this game versus 3rd edition, there are commodities. Now, commodities are worthless to you, except you can trade them away to get goods.
Yep.
So those
trade
are
goods.
Yeah, trade goods, which kind of buffed one of the races. One of the races that are really into trading.
Yep.
It kind of buffed them. You want to get rid of your
commodities.
Commodities to get. It's beneficial for everyone. Now, these tiles are the more important ones. These are basically the action tiles. These are what you're going to choose. You're going to each choose which one you want. And in your turn, it's going to take that. You're going to do that action.
Yeah, that was the science one that was popped out. It's
so
probably down here in the box somewhere. So.
It's right here.
There it is.
You're going to do these actions. Now, it's also numbered. Number 1 is going to go first, and then it's going to go up from there.
Yep.
But you're going to do these actions on there. Each one is different. And kind of each player is going to just take it. Whoever's the first to choose gets to choose one. And if they choose one, then they get to go first as well. But yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, these are... Yeah, they have different effects. I believe one of them that changed, which one was a big one, may have been the diplomacy.
The diplomacy was the biggest one that changed. Also, there's a speaker token.
Speaker,
yep. Yeah.
You get to enact policies and stuff.
More wormholes. There are alpha and beta wormholes, which are allow you to go through large expanses.
See, and the wormholes are actually red tiles.
They're red tiles,
so they could be good, they could be bad. So.
More systems. These are not starter plans, they're just more systems, binary systems here. So keep going. More starting system. There's Necatal Rex. Now this one's going to be the same, look the same on each side, so we know that it's Necatal Rex.
It is the center of the galaxy.
Yeah, it is the planet at the center. One of the races, one of their objectives is to get there first and control it first.
Well, that's one of the winning conditions.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But also, yeah, so we have more systems here.
Yep.
More starting systems from these, you can tell. This is the last sheet of punch outs. I'm going to give that to you. Ooh. Now,
a lot of stuff got punched out. Okay.
We have 2 different books. We have the Learn to Play and the Lore Compendium. Both of these are in the deluxe. This basically is just a combination of the both and in a nice hardcover bound book. Lore Compendium, this game has a story, obviously, so...
There's also the rules reference.
Yeah, rules reference.
So there's 3 booklets in here.
Yeah, they're all in that book over there. Yeah. Now, I'm going to open these. These are the faction cards, or player cards. Part of them, at least.
Each player's going to start with one of these. That's going to be your race card. That's going to be your faction abilities and all things like that. It's also really cool because it shows you how much things cost to build and their stats. And
yeah, so each one has a different stat for different vehicles.
And you get a nice thing about their lore.
Yeah.
Their starting tech, starting units, all this good stuff.
How they are, yeah.
Yeah, how they kind of play a little bit.
But also, each faction has their own abilities, how many commodities they can have at one time, stuff like that. So these guys, for instance, are basically like the Borg in Star Trek. They want to, assimilate people, and they have different stats. But for instance, they can't get War Suns unless they upgrade to get it. I think that's what it is.
Different races have different starting ship options.
Yeah, the starting ships are going to be on it here. Yeah.
Well, some people actually do start with certain tech.
Well, yeah, starting technology and then starting units.
But like, notice it's Cruiser 1, Cruiser Destroyer 1.
Oh yeah,
some of them.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
I can't remember.
Well, probably. I'll show you guys. This guy, for instance, prototype War Sun. These guys love the War Suns. These guys are basically space pirates. These guys are military guys. These guys are traders.
Traders, not traitors.
Necrovirus are just like a spreading bionic virus. Right. The Windu, these guys want to get to the center of the galaxy first. These guys are bugs. These guys are interesting. They have one ability, and it's just they get a plus to all their combat. One ability though. But yeah, they're very aggressive. These guys are my favorite. The Ghost of Kraus. They can go through wormholes and they travel a lot.
Nice.
Clan of Sar, kind of mercenary-esque. The Universities of Jolnar. These probably are what you're thinking of. No, they don't. They start with 1. But each person's ones, it has different stats. So these guys could have probably better stats in some of their vehicles.
If you notice here.
Yeah. So they don't need to.
The Dreadnought one is. This is a super Dreadnought.
Yeah. So some of them are.
So we have the races are different.
There's the T'Challa Kingdom. These guys are the turtle dudes. They're more diplomatic. The Arborek, they're plants. They're all hive mind and they want to just spread.
There's nothing wrong with that.
The Gasural tribes, they're just basically space goblins. And those are the 17 factions. Now, these are something that go on either side of your board. That's something that's really cool about these. They're double-sided, so they can either go on the right side if you're right-handed, or the left side if you're left-handed, which is an improvement from the third game, for the third edition.
And again, they're not color-coded.
They're color-coded based off of the plastic
player,
color.
right?
Yeah.
So players, you can be any color you want with the play sheets, because those are also going to correspond to your fleet choice, and then also your tokens that you're going to use.
Well, the tokens are based off the symbol, off the faction. So those are one symbol, and then
but they're
yeah.
Your fleet's going to correspond to this sheet.
That's exactly. So you have a spot for your fleet, a spot for your tactics strategy, and trade goods is kind of your resources. Also on here, it kind of goes a breakdown of the turn order, which is very nice. You can just have it right there. You can have it under your sheet like that, or you can have it out. It's up to you. I think these are really nice because it's not just on one big sheet.
In this pocket here, we actually have some loose tokens that look like they got punched out. But don't worry about those. You get 6 different colored fleets. Again, if you wanted to combine sets, theoretically, you could play with more than 6 players. I wouldn't go more than 8, just because of the other sections. You'd have to make some custom house rules for that. The game is based off of D10s, so you're trying to roll over or at or above a target number for successes. And then there's other smaller decks too.
These decks. So these decks are going to be like the tech decks, but also.
The planet cards?
Planet cards,
Each time you take over a planet, you get the planet card from the planet deck.
So, for instance, Jord, which is basically human, it's basically Earth, it'll have a description over it, but some of them will also have different, like, I guess, abilities and whatnot.
And I forget which is which, but I know that a planet will have a manufacturing score and a political score, and I don't know... I can't remember which is which.
Right.
It's going to be in the rulebook, but there's a yellow and a blue number. But basically, whenever you take over a planet, you can either spend that planet as resources to manufacture stuff or use it for political sway. So
one huge improvement on this game is the minis. Now this is the War Sun. It comes in 2 pieces. But if you remember from 3rd edition, the War Sun was just like this top part, but it was also very. It was very, I don't know, smooth, I guess you could say. It's very detailed now. Look at that. It looks awesome, and it's a hard plastic now.
All of these are hard plastic,
and it comes with all these ships. So you have a flagship too, which is part of an expansion from the 3rd edition. But you also have little space ports with a lot of fine detail.
Oh, they're so cool now.
So the models themselves are the same. What's the difference is the color that we should point out too. And then
tech cards.
We got all of this. We got all of these.
See, you can upgrade your characters.
So we'll bring that out real quick. So the tech tree. Can you pass one of the character sheets?
Sure.
Tech tree is totally different. Instead of just having your tech on the side, you can, if you upgrade a carrier, for instance, carrier 2, you can take this card and put it on top of there, so it'll upgrade these stats. Basically, it'll upgrade the last 2 stats. The best part of this edition, in my opinion, is the tech tree. It's not complex anymore.
No.
To get this tech, to buy this tech, you need to have 2 blue tech already out. Now, for instance, I think these could go towards that.
The tech tree has been refined.
It's basically symbol matching. It's not necessarily you're on this tree and you're trying to move around the tree.
Actually, you can go ahead and open this up.
Go ahead. It's your copy.
My copy now is what he said.
Yeah.
But I mean, it will be.
Yeah, you'll read about it. Don't worry. But yeah, so it's a bunch of different cards. Another good improvement is look how organized it is. 3rd edition was just a box that you piled everything in. This one is just well organized.
So what Evan was saying is you have to have so many symbols out to access the next step up. So
it's basically like you're on a tech tree, but it's not complex looking.
If I want to unlock this one, I've got to have 2. I've got to have 2 of the blue techs already unlocked. So I'd have to have this one, fleet logistics, and it doesn't matter what type it is, but I just have to have 2. Cool. So spilling cards everywhere.
While you're spilling cards, I'm gonna get last deck.
But for instance, Cruiser 2 is going to take a green, a yellow, and a red.
Right.
Destroyer 2 is going to take 2 reds. But you can see how they've changed these up. Plasma scoring, you can take 1 red. And there's some texts you start with specific texts, and you can get more with the research when the research phase happens.
Right.
Which you can see, it's really good.
Well organized. I like it a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of hidden things.
Let's just bring over this deluxe real quick.
Yeah.
We're not going to go over in fine detail. There's a few rules for this game. We're not going to go over fine detail. We just want to show that this came for pre-orders.
Yeah.
But you can also, some game stores are buying it separately. And it's just basically, it's all of the books you get.
All 3 of these books.
In a nice hard cover.
Yeah.
So, just crack it open, all full color, of course.
This is basically going to be the lore
So
section
you have
first.
your introduction, which is 4 words.
Oh, there it is.
Rules of play, lore, and then faction profiles. This is also really cool. It goes into higher detail about the factions and their history. But let's just go and break it in. So forward, we don't need to open it.
Actually cool though. It does show off like the
progression of the art.
The art's change,
yeah,
which is kind of cool. And the miniatures too.
Yes.
For instance, you can see a 3rd edition Dreadnought versus a 4th edition Dreadnought. You can tell.
Look at that.
2nd edition, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Big difference.
Big difference. All right, rules of play. So it is. There's a game. It's a game. There's a lot of ways to win. There's a lot of,
at the end of the day, though, it's all about who has the most victory points at the very end.
Basically, yeah. Objective of the game. Let's just read this real quick. Throughout the game of Twilight Imperium, players will barter, plot, and wage a war upon one another to complete objectives. The first player to accumulate 10 victory points claims the Imperial throne and wins the game.
There's lots of different ways to accumulate victory points. That's what Evan was talking about.
That's why that's not like a disadvantage if you're playing a race that's not very good for military, because they're probably good for either science or diplomacy. There's other ways of getting points.
Expansion or travel or a slew of other things.
Yeah. So learn to play, something like that. So key concept units. Now another cool part about this edition is there's a picture for all the units.
Yeah.
On the sheet itself. The other one had just like a chart and a list of names. These you know right off the bat whatever.
Right.
So, but it has it right here. Keep going. We're just gonna. There's a lot to this. We're just gonna do this. First game setup. We kind of talked about that earlier. It's a procedurally generated map, but there are ways of playing kind of like scenarios.
Yeah.
Pre-generated maps. Strategy cards overview. Kind of talked about that again. We don't need to go into description, but these are the 8 options of things you can do during your turn.
By the way, if somebody doesn't pick one of these, if you have
6 players, the maximum players.
That means 2 of them aren't going to get picked.
Yeah.
You put a bonus on that one until it is picked. And
yeah, exactly.
Those bonuses.
Yeah. So action phase, so you're going to activate those basically. Now, command sheet, which are those sheets that go next to your other sheet. Those basically have a tactical pool. This is just where you keep all your resources and stuff like that.
Well, you use these for orders.
That's right. Okay.
So if your tactics pool, you can pull a command token from this pool to perform special tactical actions.
Right.
Fleet pool, you use that to determine, I believe, how many ships you can control.
Mm-hmm. I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, you can have more ships in any one system than you have in your fleet pool.
Yeah.
And then strategy pool. You have to spend tokens from your strategy pool to resolve specific abilities for whatever strategy is going on. So, like, if it's the research phase, hey, do you want another tech? You got to spend stuff from the strategy pool.
Yeah. Now, we saw that each planet has their own card. You can exhaust those cards whenever you use the resource off the card. So that's another key concept to point out. Now, these are breaking down the different phases of the game. Yeah. Different phase of the game. We're going to just kind of skip over it. Winning the game right off the bat. 20th page. Yeah, first person to 10, which we saw that tracker. Now, there is another tracker which has 14. That's if you play, I think, an expanded version or just like an advanced rule. Which, if you want to play, a little bit more, you can. Yeah. So, keep going. Going over the space combat, we can skip that over. The basic premise for the space combat is higher number off the D10s. There's a lot of ways. There's a lot of ways you can get bonuses to that, but bring over the stats.
Here's an example. Okay, so if I have, let's just make it easy. I've got a Dreadnought, and Evan, you've got 2 destroyers.
Right.
So I've got this Dreadnought here.
I'm the humans, you're the Brotherhood.
I'm going to be rolling a die with combat 5. So anything over a 5 is a hit.
Right.
I get 1 attack, and per round we fight.
Yes.
So I roll 1 die. If I get a 5+, boom, I blew up one of Evan's ships. You had, what did we say?
We said I have 2 destroyers.
2 destroyers. So Evan is looking for a 9+, but because he's playing a destroyer, he's getting 2 dice.
Yeah.
He has 2 destroyers. He gets 2 dice.
Right.
So each hit, there's some other stuff with anti-fighter barrage and things like that we're not going to worry about. But that's how that works. So he's looking for 9s, I'm looking for 5s.
Yeah.
After the first round of a combat, both fleets can opt to duck out.
To back out, yeah.
I believe you might get shot on the way out, but it might save you some ships.
So invasions, of course, there are ground ships as well. There are the flags, which I don't think we saw. But you can invade planets and you can control them as well. Planets can also have anti-space guns. Yeah. So because you can do aerial bombardments. Defenses, yeah, stuff like that. So there's a lot to that as well. Additional rules, action cards, all that good stuff. Production based off the planets. Let's see, what's the resources and influence? So the orange number, the yellow number
is resources, the blue is
influence. Yeah. So
I knew we'd find that.
How neighbors and transactions and deals go. You can only trade with people who are next to you, except there's one faction that can do it wherever. How the commodities and the trade goods work. Trade goods are basically your actual resources. Commodities you trade for trade goods. Keep going.
Yeah, that's a big change.
You're right. Planet traits here. So this one is an industrial planet. That one's a hazardous planet. That one's a cultural planet. And then we have these over here as well. Technologies. These are the 4 different kinds of technology. But yeah, that's the type of planet and what that means for them.
Yeah, this is because of some certain cards and abilities trigger off of this.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
they weren't the science things. That was something else. But,
right.
Yeah.
Keep going. Galactic Council. There is a Galactic Council, and that's kind of the social aspect of this game.
Yes.
You have to talk and do diplomacy. And honestly, whenever people play, this is what takes the longest. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's just because people really want to engage and talk about, like, I need this policy.
Yeah, the policy phase can take a while, but it can be really good.
But it's engaging. It's very engaging. So
because you vote using your influence.
Yeah.
You vote using a planet's influence, which is huge because even if you want to take those planets that may not have a ton of resource heavy stuff, but man, those influence things mean you can vote, you can pass your agendas, you can get a lot of things out. So
advanced rules, complete setup. Keep going. These are what I was talking about, the pre-generated maps, which is cool.
Yeah, this is you can make it procedurally generated, but you can actually go off of that. This is the game board setup too.
Yeah, as well. Keep going. Glossary. Glossary, of course, is we're just gonna break it down even more. Yeah. So we can skip over.
It's just gonna go through a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot of clarifications.
Clarification.
A lot of, definitions and stuff in here. So.
Now, one of the cool parts though is the lore compendium. So this is kind of the overarching backstory, but then it goes over each kind of era, and it's only like a quick blurb, so it's not like a lot of reading.
It's so cool.
Oh, so cool. So we're gonna just like quickly, go through this. Sunsets in the Empire. That's when the major empire of the old.
Rex goes.
It goes black. Yeah. Twilight Wars, big events. Age of Unrest. Keep going. Distant Suns. Echoes of the Past. And it looks like Force Awakens. Threats from Beyond, the Necrovirus. Keep going. Shadow of War. So there's a lot of history in this game. Like, it's not just a board game. There's a lot of story involved in too.
So cool.
Which is really cool because then you can like really role play with your faction.
Yeah, and then it's going to get into each one of them.
Yeah, and this is the backstory for instance, the Emirates of Hakan or Hakan. So it's going to go in the backstory of each one. Kind of over in the bottom right, you can see just like the disposition. These guys are determined, the humans are determined, and they're expansionists. There's 16.44 billion of them. So yeah, it goes over each one of them. One of my favorites is these guys down here. The quick description of them is a bunch of binary, and then the population is just error. Nice. So that's funny. But yeah, this goes over backstory.
It probably translates into something real. I'm not going to put it in a...
I'm actually going to do that later. I'm going to find out. I'm curious. But yeah, 17 factions, and then just the end. So that's the cool part about this. It has everything else. And one of the cool things, too, if you pre-ordered and then got this for free, you have another rulebook to pass around if you need to.
So cool.
Oh,
so excited about this game.
There's so much. Yeah.
We're ready. We're waiting for our breaks to come up so we can actually
just play this game.
Play this game all day. All right. That is Twilight Imperium 4th Edition, plus the new deluxe rulebook. Let's hop out for a recap. Well, that was Twilight Imperium 4th Edition.
What'd you think?
Such a good... Oh, it's so good. So good.
The minis are better, like they're better plastic.
Better plastic. They're harder plastic instead of the soft plastic.
The game's not simpler, but it's more streamlined, so it's much better for people to come in on the first time and digest it, really.
Oh, yeah.
And that thing.
The hardback book. This was really nice.
It's really nice. It's both the rulebook and the lore compendium all in one book, which is nice.
Yeah.
But that also means, too, it still comes with the rulebook in the box, so you can pass it around. 2 rulebooks around if you need to.
That's a big deal, too, just because there's a lot of stuff in this game game. I mean, if you've ever played Twilight Imperium, like Evan said, it's not simpler. It's just streamlined.
Yeah, much more streamlined. Yeah. Especially we talked about this, the tech tree. So much better.
Yeah. But you want that extra rulebook basically to pass around to just keep track of stuff. Yeah. There's a lot of moving parts in this game.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's really cool stuff. I'm super pumped about it. Let's crunch the numbers on this one.
All right, let's do it.
Twilight Imperium 4th edition.
Yes.
From FFG.
Yes.
2 to 5 players or
3 to
more.
6. 3 to 6 players.
Well, yeah, you want more players.
Yeah, it's recommended 5 or 6 players, but you can definitely do 2 or 3 or 3 or 4.
You can play 2 player. I've done a 2-player game.
Oh, I'm sure you can. Yeah.
But yeah, the recommended game. Let me stick to that. Recommended 3 to 6
3 to
players.
6. Yeah.
You can go actually higher than 16. But this again.
As we saw, it comes with only 6 different colored minis. But if you bring in some on the outside, you can have more than 6.
Yeah, if you have 2 copies of the game, I mean, you saw how many races are in there.
There's 15 to choose from. So
you could
15 or so.
You could up that. It just would take a lot longer. I wouldn't go more than 8.
Oh yeah, it would take forever.
Well, just because of the roles that you play.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Anyway.
All right.
So 3 to 6 players officially.
On the box, it says around 4 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is a complex game. Games are usually running around 6 or 7 hours. So. Yeah.
Also, the more players you have, obviously, the longer it's going to take.
Yeah, that's true.
But this is definitely a game I would consider to be like an all-day.
People buy this game knowing how long it takes, and some people really enjoy it because of how long it takes.
Yeah. So. It's like a Saturday.
Yeah.
I
have no problem sitting down playing a video game for 4 or 5 hours. That should be the same for board games for me.
Right. Yeah. For me and my friends that play these type of games, like we'll designate like, hey, on this day we're gonna play like until we're done.
Yeah.
We'll go. Maybe order pizza or whatever, but we'll play the entire time.
You'll make it an event, basically. Yeah.
So, yeah. Pretty cool stuff. The book itself, what's the price point first?
So, the box is $149.95. The book itself, it should come free if you pre-ordered the game. However, some game stores are selling it separately. It's up to them how they want to sell it, though. Yeah. So, the price could be $30, it could be $40, whatever the game store wants.
Yeah. So, again, if you pre-ordered, you probably got this for free.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the box, the game itself is $149.95. So, go check it out. I can't recommend it enough.
It's a great game.
This is one of those games that got me going into board games in general and started exploring that whole thing.
Yeah.
So, as complicated as it is, it was still a really fun, great gateway game for me.
Yeah, so. And if you were thinking about picking up another 3rd edition, now is even better because it's more streamlined and easier to get into.
I really like the new minis. Anyway, I could keep going. Twilight Imperium 4th edition. It's out right now. Go check it out. I'm AdamHarry.
I'm Evan from Dragons Lair Comics and Fantasy.
And this has been another Tabletop Spotlight. Thanks again for watching. Tabletop Spotlight, brought to you by Dragons Lair Comics and Fantasy. Thanks for watching.